The Moonlit Garden and the Brave Little Fox. Once upon a time, in a kingdom far beyond the mountains, there was a beautiful enchanted garden that only bloomed under the light of the full moon. The garden was filled with flowers that glowed like stars and whispered secrets of the universe to anyone who could hear. But no one dared to visit this magical place, for it was guarded by a fearsome dragon named Thorn. Thorn was not just any dragon. He had the power to turn day into night and summon storms with a flick of his tail. Because of his fearsome reputation, everyone in the kingdom avoided the enchanted garden, afraid of the dragon's wrath. However, in a small village at the edge of the kingdom lived a brave little fox named Felix. Felix was not like the other animals. He had a heart full of courage and an unshakable curiosity. Every night, Felix would look up at the full moon and wonder what secrets the moonlit garden held. One evening, Felix overheard two birds whispering about the wishing flower that bloomed only once every 100 years in the garden. It was said that whoever found the wishing flower and made a wish under the full moon would have their heart's deepest desire granted. Felix's ears perked up at the thought. If I can find that flower, he thought, I could wish for peace and joy for everyone in the kingdom, and no one would ever fear the dragon again. With that brave thought, Felix set out on his journey to the moonlit garden. He walked through the dark woods, climbed the steep hills, and finally reached the enchanted garden as the full moon began to rise. The garden was even more magnificent than he had imagined. Flowers of every color sparkled in the moonlight, and the air was filled with the soft hum of magic. But as Felix stepped into the garden, a deep, rumbling voice echoed through the trees. "Who dares enter my garden?" growled Thorn, the dragon, his eyes glowing red in the shadows. Felix's heart raced, but he stood tall. "I am Felix, the fox, and I have come to find the wishing flower." The dragon laughed, a sound like thunder. "Many have come before you, little fox, but none have been brave enough to face me. Why should I let you pass?" Felix took a deep breath and said, "Because my wish is not for myself, but for the kingdom. I wish for peace, so that no one has to fear you or anyone else ever again." Thorn paused, surprised by Felix's words. "Peace?" he repeated softly. "No one has ever wished for that. They only come seeking gold, power, or fame." The dragon's fierce eyes softened, and he lowered his great head. "Once, I too wished for peace," Thorn confessed, "but no one trusted me because of my power, so I became the creature they feared." Felix looked up at the dragon with understanding. "You don't have to be feared. You can be a guardian, a protector of this magical place, instead of something to be afraid of." Moved by Felix's kindness and bravery, Thorn's heart began to change. "Very well," Thorn said, his voice now gentle. "You may find the wishing flower, but there is no need to wish for peace. From this night on, I will protect the kingdom, not with fear, but with kindness." And so, Felix found the glowing wishing flower, but instead of making a wish, he smiled and placed it in the center of the garden for all to see. Thorn kept his promise, and from that day forward, the moonlit garden became a place of wonder and joy, where everyone in the kingdom could come to find peace and happiness. As for Felix, he became known as the little fox who taught even a mighty dragon that true strength comes from kindness and courage. And every time the full moon rose over the kingdom, the garden bloomed brighter than ever, reminding all who visited that bravery and love could change the world. Morale of the story: true courage is not about fighting battles, but about showing kindness and understanding, even in the face of fear.